What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about a couple things. So we're first gonna be talking about the Mini and what's going on with it. So I've got some good news. So I mentioned to you guys a while ago that I was working with ECS to hopefully get myself some parts for the Mini and get the Mini build going. Well, good news, because I've got a box from ECS and it's basically filled with all the extra parts that I need for this engine. So this box is pretty full now. I'm going to address everything in there. I'm going to take it all apart and I'm going to actually go through all the parts that I got for the Mini so that I can get the build going. So I have all the expensive stuff really. So like connecting rods, pistons, all the stuff for the head, most of the stuff for the bottom end. So that right there was basically the missing piece of the puzzle. So now we can actually send this out to get this machined and actually get the whole motor built. So that's good news. I'll get into that in a later video. But that's not what this video today is going to be about. Today's video is going to be about the Z. So my Nissan has been pretty much stock for the last 2 months, I'd say, for the last oil change. I haven't done anything to it other than the test pipes and tint. That's basically it. So basically where it is right now, it's how the car should have sounded stock and how it should look. Now, once I actually do my first oil change, I'm gonna start modding this thing. Now, the one thing that I just picked up the other day that is unbelievable, that you guys can tell from the title of this video, I got wheels and tires. So I've got the stock wheels and tires on this thing right now. The front wheels are a 19 by 9, the rears are a 19 by 10. Now the new wheels that I picked up are slightly more aggressive. They have the same inset, so it's not gonna actually interfere with anything on the inside of the car. However, it's going to fix the inset that the car has. So the wheels are slightly weak. The new wheels and tires that I have are a little bit more aggressive with a lot more tire. So the rear tires are 275s, the fronts are 245s, I think. I should have probably looked before I started the video. Yeah, 245 40s. So the new wheels and tires that I have for this thing are a lot better, a lot wider, and a lot lighter. Well, for the size of them. So I'm gonna stop talking, I'm actually gonna show you what wheels I bought for the Z. Okay, I lied. I'm actually gonna talk a little bit more. However, what I bought is basically the wheels that so many people buy reps of. So if you guys know the wheels, Fast, they're basically reps. Fast makes a wheel called the FC04, which is based off of the wheel that I purchased. Now the wheel that I purchased is available in a one-piece design, and it's also available in a multi-piece design. So the ones that I bought, they're a little bit lighter, and I think they look better than the multi-piece ones, only because the barrel and the lip of the wheel, it matches the whole thing. It matches the face. So I actually purchased some raise wheels for my Z. So these bad boys here are the new wheels that I got for the Z, and they look incredible. I can't wait to actually mount these things, but before I actually do that, I'm going to clean them first. So these wheels are what are called the Raise 57 FXXs. Now, they also make a multi-piece version of this wheel. I'll throw up a picture of what it looks like. But if you ask me, I think these wheels not only look better, but they're actually going to perform better because they're a single-piece wheel. Now, this wheel here is a 20 by 11. Now, take a look at how massive this tire is. So this is, let me find the sidewall. This is a 325/30 ZR20 tire. It's a Michelin Cup 2, so it's a super sticky compound as well. So that is one of the rears. I have the other rear outside that I'm going to begin washing. And this guy here is the front. So I'm running a staggered setup. This is a 20 by 10. And this guy here is a 265/35 ZR20. So these are actually the ideal specs for the Z. I'm not gonna actually be interfering or changing the overall circumference of the tire, so that's going to be a good thing. I picked these up from a guy that owned a GTR. He sold his GTR, but had these wheels left over. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and clean all this stuff up, remove the little bit of brake dust that's found in the back. I'm gonna ceramic coat them, and then I'm gonna install these on the car. Now I'm actually gonna run into a little hiccup, and I'll show you guys once I actually get going what that problem is. But in the meantime, I'm gonna start cleaning this up and make this wheel look new again. You guys should know me by now. I can't exactly just go ahead and throw a set of wheels and tires on a car without cleaning them. Now it doesn't matter if they're new or used, there's still going to be dirt or grime on the wheel and tire that needs to be taken off. Now the reason why I say needs is because I need to take it off before I can put it on, because my OCD is nuts. I don't know if you guys are the same kind of way, but it has to be clean to put it on the car. I feel like I'm not treating the car as good as it can by putting dirty wheels in the car. So what I'm gonna be doing is cleaning up the entire front side of the wheel, cleaning up the entire back side of the wheel, along with the tire. So because there's brake dust and because these wheels and tires are used, there is going to be a little bit of wear on them. So I've got to clean that up and clean it all back so that it can be put on the vehicle. Now, I'm gonna be using a couple different products to get all this stuff done. I've showed you guys many times how to do this. There's going to be links in the description box if you guys wanna find the products that I used. However, the process is pretty straightforward. Now, the last little part that is different from this video than other ones is the fact that I bought a new leaf blower and it does a killer job at removing all the water and blowing everything away. It's battery powered, so it runs off the same DeWalt 20-volt batteries that I've been using for all my other tools. So my impact gun, my impact driver, my drill, my reciprocating saw, and now this leaf blower, they all run in the same batteries. There's no gas. It's super convenient, super easy. There's no pulling, nothing, and it does the job. So once you complete that process for the rear wheels, you can do the same thing for the fronts. And then at that point, we're going to be good and we can throw them on the car. Okay, so I basically spent hours cleaning these wheels up, both the front side and the back side. Now the reason why it took so long is because of how complicated and how intricate the spokes are. So because this wheel is machined and it's basically got a lot of metal removed to make this not only light, but strong, it makes it so that when you're cleaning this, there's a lot of intricate areas that you need to get the brush into. However, it's cleaned up. All like the little intricate parts on the back side of the spokes are all clean. Now all that I need to do next is put tire shine on the tires, and then we can go ahead and test fit these on the Z. The way that I like to apply tire shine onto a tire is a little bit different than how other people do it. So I'm first gonna go ahead and put some tire shine on an applicator, and then I'm gonna apply it on the entire perimeter of the tire. Now, at that point, it's going to be quite saturated in the product, and once you go ahead and turn the car on, drive the vehicle, and let those tires turn, what's gonna happen is that all that excess is actually going to wanna fling off, and it's gonna go all over your paint. So you don't want that. So what I like doing after I go over the entire thing once is I like getting another rag, something that doesn't have any product on it, and just wipe down everything that's on top of the tire. Now, any excess is going to want to be transferred into the actual rag, and any tire shine that needs to be on the tire is going to stay on there. Now, you don't really need to scrub. All you want to do is just do like a quick rinse down or a wipe down of the tire, and it's going to remove all the excess that is needed to come off. Now comes the fun part, where we're going to bring the Z in the garage and we're going to mount the wheels on the vehicle. Now, just before we get started, I'm not sure if you guys have a Z or not. Your car may do this even though it's not a Nissan. So my Accord does this too. So this is my key fob. So I've got lock, unlock, and then panic. If you click the unlock and then hold it down for 5 seconds. Oh, nothing happens. Let's try that again. The windows go down. It's pretty sweet. Now, if you do the same thing in like your Accord or whatever, in my Accord at least, the windows go down and also the sunroof opens up. So it's a cool little feature. Your car may end up doing this thing too. My girlfriend actually just found out about that same thing in her Mini. So if your car does that, it's a nice little feature. So with the car jacked up in the air, I'm gonna be using my DeWalt impact gun with a 21mm socket to remove both of these wheels. Now, these wheels are a little bit smaller and they're gonna be a little bit lighter only because it's a smaller diameter wheel and it's a smaller section tire. So when I change over to these 20s, it is gonna be a little bit heavier, but the performance that I'll be able to get from it is going to be worth the extra weight that I'm putting on the car. Now, before I can just go ahead and throw them on, I need the hub-centric rings for these wheels. So because the hub bore on the car is smaller than the bore on the wheel, I need a ring so that the wheel will be properly centered on the hub. So you just slide that over top, and then this wheel then goes over top of this. Now when you do this, you won't have any vibrations or anything, and this is just the proper way to get things done. If you don't really push your car, you don't really need them. However, if you want to go the safest and best route, you're going to need these hub-centric rings. Everything was going smooth until I ran into this one little hiccup, and that's with the front end of the vehicle. Most cars don't have this, however, this 370 does. Now, I was really hoping that wasn't going to be an issue, but there's one thing on these Nissans, at least the 370s, that I need to address before I can put the wheel on. And that is something that's attached to the hub. So do you guys see anything that is out of the ordinary with this wheel setup? So if you take note of this guy here, this is a little peg that's got a bolt on the end of it that is there to make sure that you don't install the rear stock wheels on the front of the vehicle. So the pocket that's actually behind the wheel, so that's found in there, is a little bit too short for this setup. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to remove this. I believe it's a 10 mil So I'll just take that out and it'll relieve the pressure from the rotor onto the hub. Guys, I'm sorry I lied to you. This isn't a 10 mil, it's a 12. Don't break up with me. What do we gotta do? Lefty loosey. So this just has to come out. No, that's tighty. So what I'm gonna do is actually do this. I'm gonna put that like that, and I'm gonna basically just shock the stud to remove it. That's all you really need. So you can see that it's now loose, and you can take out the whole thing. So you can see exactly what it is. It's literally a bolt that's just long enough so that it bolts up to the rotor. So at this point, I'm actually not going to move it, but the rotor should be able to move in and out. With that out of the way, I can grab the wheel, put it on top of the studs, and raise it up. Damn! So I'm going to turn this so it's facing the right way. Ah, that looks nice. Damn, that looks good. Now, this is also a very BBK friendly wheel, so the 4-piston brakes that we have up front aren't going to be an issue. You can see that we've got lots of clearance. So these did fit on a GTR. I know they weren't going to be an issue fitting onto here. However, this just goes to show that it actually confirms that. Now, the problem that I told you guys in the beginning that I have, well, it's going to be right here. So at this point, we can't tighten up and use those lug nuts that we took off the car for these wheels. And that's because the OEM wheel design is different than this. So take a look at this lug nut. Can you see how it's basically got a washer that's completely flat on the bottom? Well, this new style wheel that we're putting on right now is a tuner lug nut. That's what it needs. So it's basically a 60-degree cone instead of a basically 180-degree washer. So I'm gonna, well, not be able to use this now. I'm waiting for lug nuts to come in tomorrow. They're delivered, they're in the US, and I've got to go pick them up tomorrow morning. Now, only at that point will I be able to throw all of these wheels on, put the car down on the ground, and actually see how this looks. So in this video, we're throwing on these wheels, we're test fitting them, but that's basically as much as we can do. We can't exactly go drive the car yet because we can't exactly use these. Now, the lug nuts that I bought are very impressive. So if you guys are staying up to date with the channel, I showed you guys and mentioned in the 200K video that I bought 3-piece somethings for this wheel setup. Now, these wheels are one piece. It's not a separate individual, part of the wheel mashed together with bolts and nuts. This is a one-piece wheel. However, the 3-piece component of the wheel that I'm going to be installing on the car is the lug nuts. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, what the heck is a 3-piece lug nut? Well, it's exactly what that is. There's 3 different parts of the lug nut that comprise it and make it what it is. So the lug nuts that I'm gonna be getting, they're purchased, they're delivered in the States. I'm gonna pick them up tomorrow, and you guys will be able to see what they are. I'm gonna make a full video about that to show you exactly what they are, because even before I bought these wheels, I had no idea what they were. Before, I had aftermarket wheels and tires on many cars, on my Honda, on my old Nissan, and I never heard of a 3-piece lug nut. However, it's actually a thing, and it's really damn cool. So I'm gonna show you guys tomorrow what that is, but in the meantime, that's basically where this video is gonna be ending. We've got the Z up in the air. I was gonna say 240. We've got the Z up in the air, and I'm going to do the same thing where I install the rear wheels on the back of the car just to see how it looks. I'll show you guys that before I actually end the video. However, that's basically what we're getting to. Okay, so I couldn't actually just throw this wheel on without showing you guys the difference between these two. Okay, so this is a 325 tire on this 11-inch wide wheel. This is a 275 tire on a 10-inch wide wheel. Look at how much wider this looks versus this one. It's nuts. I've got so much more tire, and this is actually a stickier compound than the tires that are on there. Now, the difference between these cup tires versus these Potenzas is that you need to put a little bit more heat into these tires to actually get them to stick and get the full potential out of them. However, once they're warm, these things stick like glue. I had these exact same Cup 2 tires on my Accord when I took it to the track. And even then, no one could keep up to me when I had that car around that track because of the extra grip that these tires had over all the other tires that were out there. Now, of course, these are still a treaded tire. There's still grooves in them. Now, if you were to get this exact same compound in a slick, you get even more grip. So that just goes to show how sticky these things are. Now, it's actually time to go throw these on the back to see how awesome these wheels look. Holy shit, this is going to be nuts. So hopefully when this actually cambers in, this is going to be pretty damn flush. This here was about 1 inch weak, and this is an inch wider wheel with the same inset. And the same thing goes for the front. So it's kind of hard to tell what the actual ride height's going to be because the car's up in the air and I don't have lug nuts. However, once I pick up those lug nuts tomorrow, you guys will be able to see how awesome this car looks with these wheels. Let me get rid of the stock one, or at least move it out of the way. Oh, frig, this one looks nice. Ugh. Look at that fitment in the back. Look at that wheel. Oh, that looks good. Okay, so I was just showing Luca how awesome this fitment is. So right now, you can see there's a tiny bit of poke, but as soon as I put the lug nuts on and lower it on the ground, that poke will actually move back into the fender because right now I'm actually standing with positive camber on the car. So once the car's on the ground, it's gonna be a different story. But like when we were stepping back and you actually take note of how much wider the 325 is over the 275, it's nuts. It makes that wide tire look like it's skinny. I'm pumped. I'm actually going to bed like really soon so I can get up in the morning, go to the States, pick up these lug nuts, and then throw them on the car. They look so damn nice. Now, with this being said, this also means that I need to make the car have more contrast to it. So if you guys remember, we tinted the windows and that made a big difference. But I still want to do a couple more things like wrap the roof and wrap the diffuser. However, when I go ahead and do that, you guys are also going to notice a couple other things that I'm going to do while I'm at it. So that's hopefully going to be coming out soon, but I don't want to focus too much time on the Z. I am going to be spending time on the Z, but the Mini needs more work than anything. So I want to prioritize my time with that because now that the Audi's done, I'm not really doing any other stuff. I need to get that thing up and going. So I've got the parts for it. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video. I want to see if I can throw something up regarding this and also the ECS box. I've got a lot of parts for the Mini and I want to get this build going. So that just means I got to put some work into it. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.